In this session, let's learn about mapping types. Okay, remember, so when we discussed about data types, there are they are classified. We classified them into broadly three categories: across to storage model, access model, update model. Storage model, we have scalar and container. Scalar is having just the one values that are stored in scalar data types. Okay, and container, when it come to container, as the name says, as the name implies, they actually are able to contain multiple data types or multiple values. Access, we have direct sequence and mapping. Okay, and according to mutable and immutable data types according to update model. And we learned that there are mutable types in Python that are list, dictionary, and set. Remaining are immutable. And we have here mapping type. We discussed the scalar, container, direct sequence, mutable, immutable, and mapping type, which is quite interesting here. Okay. So what are mapping types here? See, we discussed already this scalar types are non-Boolean, integer, float, and the string. Okay. String supports sequence type according to the access model, and a tuple list, dictionary. These are containers. Okay, container types according to the storage model, and tuple list are sequences containers, and they we can access them according to the uh, the way we access them. They can be classified as sequence model. Okay, why? Because we can access them using subscription operator, right? Like where string, tuple, and list. But dictionary is something special where it doesn't support the index. Instead as it uses keys. So dictionaries, what are mapping types in Python? Dictionaries are mapping types. So what gets into your mind when we say dictionary? Yes, meaning. So dictionary, so where English word is mapped to exact let's say, yeah, exact word of exact meaning of other language. For suppose he take a Telugu or Hindi. Okay, or let's say Arabic. So if you take a Arabic dictionary, so where English word is exactly mapped to with the same word, which uh, uh, which actually shows the exact meaning. Yes, 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 yes. So here, let's go to mapping type here. Okay. Mm. We have seen tuple and dictionaries. Okay, and the way last time, as you know, tuple is like immutable. So once you define, you can change, and list is like immutable, where you define the list where you can modify it. In the sense, you can add or remove values. We'll go deep into that. So how we can use these list methods, and here mapping types. Okay, so let's do uh, simple challenge here. So can you see here a few things here? So can you map the first one? What is that? This projector. So can you map with anything on right? For it is mapped to screen. Okay, it is you have a paintbrush also here. Yeah, yeah. So which is mapped to photo. Yes, and comb is mapped to, yeah, and this is mapped to, yeah. Okay, so it makes sense to map this key to padlock, to brush to. These are mappings, right? So which is kind of, it doesn't make sense if you actually map this with hair, right? Paintbrush. Hmm? So these are mapping. So same thing. So in a Python also, we used, see, based on we discussed so many data types that are integer, float, list, tuple, dictionary, set, frozen set, none, boolean. Okay, so these types we use when we want to represent true, false, or yes, no question. We use boolean. When we want to represent numbers, which is a price, we use an integer or a float. Okay, age, for age we use integer. Mhm. So and also for a speech or some text or some message, if you are chatting with someone on a WhatsApp or anything, and there what you type is a string. Yes. So we use data types based on the situation scenario. Okay, based on requirement. So when do we use this dictionaries data type? We use this dictionaries data type whenever we want to map. We want a mapping. We want to store a mapping, anything that reflects the concept of mapping. Okay, for suppose, let me show you. Let's see that in action. It is better showed than discussed. Okay, so here dictionaries, how dictionaries are discussed. Okay, so see how these dictionaries can be categorized into the container types, mapping type, and immutable. Dictionaries are mutable, that you can change once you define. You can add, delete, modify. And it is a mapping type according to the access model. According to the storage model, it is a container type. So how you can dictionaries are heterogeneous, which means that you are not restricted to store a same type. You can use dictionaries to store anything of any type. Okay, like you have seen containers, you can put another container inside this. You can put another mapping type, or you can put another sequence type. Okay, but how can you define? You can define dictionary using curly braces. And dictionaries contain values. Okay, we call them pairs. So like we mapped. Okay, so let's check this one. Here we mapped. Think of this left side one is a key which is mapped to the value. Okay, so if you know the English word, uh, let's say if you know the English word phenomenal. Okay, so if you open the dictionary, if you are looking for a meaning for a phenomenal word for other language. Okay, so in such a case, that word is mapped to the meaning of a other language. For suppose take Telugu. Okay, so right, that is mapped to the equivalent word of the equivalent Telugu word. So what is the key for you to retrieve that foreign language word, the word, right? So if you want to retrieve meaning of that word, you should be aware of that word first. If you don't you don't or don't remember the word, you can't get the meaning from, even though you have a dictionary. So such that we can call it as a key, right? So even though you have a lock here, you can't open or lock this padlock if you don't have a key. Do you understand? Even though you have this lock inside in your hand, if you don't have a key, you can't actually uh, lock, or you can't either close or open that padlock. Hmm? So same way, if you don't remember the word, for which you are trying to find a meaning, you can't find a meaning even though you have a dictionary. Such that key, it is called a key to retrieve a value. Okay, so that in dictionaries contain these key value pairs separated by colon, and by combining both, we can call them as pairs. Okay, and these pairs are separated by comma, curly braces. So yeah, so let's see how we can define dictionary. So students, I'm defining students where okay, so I'm taking rule number, okay, which is 2, and inside that I'm taking a value as another dictionary. Can you see that one? Okay, can you see this one? So this is dictionary, and see, you are actually mapping all student details as a with a key as their register number or roll number or their hall ticket number. You can say whatever. Okay, there is register number. So this register number is the key to retrieve a student, right? If you don't know register number, if you don't even know key, if you don't have key, but you reached home, you can't open the lock. That way, yeah, you can retrieve these values, which is what is the value here? A dictionary here. Yeah, which is a dictionary. You can put another container inside a container. This is nested type. Okay, so we used uh, key here. You see curly braces we defined, and key, which is two, and value is another dictionary. And inside this dictionary, you can see again name is the key and Madhu is the value, and age is the key 22, which is the value. And this whole thing is uh, uh, one item. Okay, so okay, we can call them as these pairs. We also call them as items. Yeah, which are called items. So key value pairs are also referred as items. So we have one item and separated by comma with another item, and you can see here name Geeta, which is one item separated by comma with the other item. Okay, and how can you retrieve? See, two is the what is two here? Name, which is not index here. Don't be confused, which is a key. Okay, so let's do an example here. Okay, yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I have entered the key, not the index. Okay, so here, unlike list and tuple, dictionaries don't support index, but keys acts as an index here, kind of index. Okay, so key is the address. So key is the address. Key is a, you understand? You do you have any? Yeah, yeah. Hmm. Okay, let's define some dictionary. D equal to, okay. So dictionary D equal to name which is let's define Steve, age, okay, 32, okay, profession, okay, let's say work, okay, engineers, okay, define. So here, just like index acts as an address to retrieve element in a list and tuple, other sequence types, here key acts as an address to retrieve a value. So you can't retrieve key using value, but you can retrieve a value using key. So for suppose if I use age, which is a key, but you use the same kind of subscription syntax here that you use in sequence types, that are brackets. And now you can see retriever 32. D of, now if I use, sorry, which is syntax, okay, D of name, if we type, you can see you can retrieve a value, okay, and work, okay. And remember, dictionaries are unordered types, okay. So since they are actually, you see here, they are not defined the way uh, they are not stored or maintained in the same way that you define this dictionary. Here you define a name, age, and work, but they are unordered. The order in which they are stored are unpredictable. Okay, they are unordered because you see work here. Why? Because you have nothing to do with here with the order, because you don't need an order to retrieve values. All you need is a key. Okay, and if I try, no, so the order is not predictable. It is according to algorithm. But see, that way, that is the reason these are called unordered data types. Okay, so and end of the day, you have nothing to do with the order. All you need is a key to retrieve a value. Understand? Do you understand? Okay, so here, let's say if I try to use an any key which is not available here, let's say, which is f name, first name. Okay, what you will get a key error. Okay, key is not available, you will get an error. Okay. And these are dictionary methods you have. this dictionary, since why you have these different methods, and there are some methods which can be used to mutate, change, remove, update values. And since it is a mutable type, you can actually, you have D here. Since it is mutable, you can update the age. Okay, 52. Now I updated 52. You see, just like you assign just like a variable assignment, you can update a value by referring to that key. You understand? Now if the age is updated, okay, instead of updating, now other, you see, instead of referring, you can put something else. Okay, now again age is updated. Okay, update work dictionary. Since why? Because you can do this. Why? Because why? Because these are mutable. Okay. Okay, now you see work is updated. Okay, so we will further discuss about uh, dictionary methods.